Ma'am, I welcome you to this session. So, dear participants, we are very fortunate to have Professor Maitri Datta with us for this session. Dr. Maitri Datta was graduated in ECE from Guwahati University in 1993. She was the gold medalist in her batch, even all branch topper of that year. She did her ME in ECE from Punjab Engineering College in 99 through Gates Scholarship and obtained her PhD from Punjab University in 2007. Her academic achievement was excellent throughout her life. She joined in NITR, Chandigarh in 2001 and since 2003 she was the head of department of CSE of this institute. From 2015 to 2017, she was professor and head of ECE department of NITR Chandigarh. She had initiated many activities in CSE department. She backed two sponsored projects from Ministry of IT, New Delhi, one project from Ministry of Social Justice and another project from AICT New Delhi under RPS. She established IoT laboratory and advanced cybersecurity laboratory in the institute. Now she is establishing AR and VR laboratory in NITR Chandigarh. Besides these, she had backed grants from AICT to conduct several FDPs, ATAL programs, grants for organizing conferences, etc. She is guiding 7 PhD students in image processing area and already 5 have done their PhD under ma'am's guidance. Ma'am has conducted free courses for the underprivileged students in collaboration with social welfare organization under UT Government Chandigarh. And for this, she was awarded Rota Women Distinction Award by Rotary Club Chandigarh in 2013. She has also received Best Teacher Award from Bharatiya Shikshan Mandal, Uttar Pradesh in 2013. She also looked after the Department of Educational Television Center for 2 years, and during that period, she was given the charge of overall MOOC coordinator and overall coordinator of ARPIT courses by the director, NITR Chandigarh, under which the institute could launch 7 MOOC courses and 2 ARPIT courses till date, out of which 3 are AICTE and IEEE module courses. Ma'am has published 150 papers in international and national journals and conferences. Presently, ma'am is professor and head of Information Management and Emerging Engineering Department and also holding the charge of Dean Academics and Research and Development of NITR Chandigarh. So with this brief introduction, now I invite ma'am to kindly start today's session.
Thank you, Balvinder. And first of all, I'm happy seeing now 75 participants are there in this session. So all of you must be in electronics and communication engineering background, or some of you may be from the other background, for example, CSE or electrical engineering department. I don't know about the details, but I'm expecting that some participants may be from the other departments as well. So in this session, Dr. Balvinder has told me to tell about the Scilab programming. So of course, the 1.5 hour will not be so much, enough for me to tell all about the Scilab programming. But I will try to, give you the introduction about the Scilab programming, about the, how to draw the graphs, and somewhat about DSP toolboxes or some commands in Scilab, that how we carry out the very basic, functions in a digital signal processing. Because once you know the basic things and how to go about, then automatically you can explore yourself, then you can learn yourself also. Okay, now let me share my screen first. Okay. So first of all, we will see that what is Scilab. Scilab is basically the one alternative in open source of MATLAB software. For example, in case of MATLAB, we know that all the calculations or the manipulations we do in the matrix form. Similarly, Scilab also we do, in Scilab also we do the calculations and all the manipulations of the signals or any other images and everything we do in with the help of the matrix. That means basically the matrix manipulations are there in Scilab programming. So how to, the download Scilab, you have to go to Google, and after that you can just write the download Scilab, right? You will get many options. One option is your main version. Nowadays, which version it is working, that is your 6.0.2. And some other researchers says that in 6.0.2, somewhere we are getting some problems in the toolboxes. For example, digital signal processing toolboxes or neural network toolboxes. Somewhere in calculations or in some processing, we get some difficulty in the toolboxes. So therefore, I suggest to the participants that if you download and if you from the Google, then you download the Scilab 5.5.2, right? So that version you can download, and according to your system configuration, if it is 32-bit configuration, then also you can, it will give the option, and if it is a 64-bit configuration, then also it will give the option. So which option you want to click, that is on your own, depending on your system configuration. You can just click on it, and after that, within just 5 to 6 minutes, it will be uploaded and it will be downloaded, and then it will be installed. In fact, downloading, it will just take 2 minutes, and after that 3 minutes, you can just say that it will be installed in your computer. So if you have laptop on your hand, if you are not, attending with the mobile, then you can try on your own. When I will say that the introduction of Scilab, that time, within that time only, you can just go to Google and you can download Scilab. Just you write download Scilab, then automatically you will get the options and you download it, right? So as I have told that Scilab is a freely distributed open source scientific software package. It is similar to MATLAB, as I have told. It is matrix oriented, and matrix manipulations we do 2D, 3D, plotting, animation, simulations, everything can be done in Scilab, right? Nowadays, since it is an open source, so automatically it is in the developing stage, right? Some toolboxes like MATLAB, it is not so much vast or robust, as I say, but for the academic purposes, for the research-oriented purposes, it is sufficient, right? Now, it is an open programming environment that allows users to create their own functions and libraries. And Scilab consists of 3 main components. One is it is an interpreter, right? One line by line, it will just check libraries of functions and libraries of Fortran and C routines also. That means if you have written any program in C, then of course you can join or you can attach those programs in Scilab. Now it is the matrix multiplications and matrix addition, matrix subtraction, matrix transpose, or all these manipulations can be done. As you know that matrix is your M cross N matrix. That is M rows and the N columns, right? Similar expressions we use in Scilab only. Just like that, I have given that A is equal to 2 gap 7 gap 4. That means it is a row matrix, right? That is 2, 7, and 4. If you want to make a column matrix, then you have to just write 2 semicolon 7 semicolon 4. Or otherwise, you can also write 2, enter, then it will go below, then again 7, enter, then again it will go below, then you can write 4, then you can just close your this square bracket, then automatically it will give you the column matrix. So if you want to write the row and column matrix, then how to write? Then 274 and 389. If you have done the MATLAB programming, then automatically it will be easier for you to follow this Scilab programming. Okay, now if I say that A is equal to 274 and 389, what will be AA? Then AA will be that one time of A, then again it will be joining the 274, 389. So it will be 274, 389 and 274, 389. That means we are joining the two matrix row wise, right? So this is one row and column, and within this row, not as a column wise, it will be 274 and 389. If I say A colon semicolon A, then it will be 274, 389 and niche aa jayega 274, 389, right? That is the difference. That if you give the gap, then it will be the row matrix. If you give the semicolon, then it will be the column matrix. So just like this, we can, the index of the matrix can be that, for example, A is equal to the matrix I have given, that is your 353, 682 and 7, for example, 273, right? If I say the A6, what will be A6? A6 will be in the row wise first. This will first row, second row, third row. Then the second column, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The A6 will be 7, right? It will go to the first row, second row, third row, then again the second column, first row, second row, third row. So similarly, if you say the A3, 2, that means third row and the second column, that also it will give 7. Now another option is there. It is in there present in MATLAB also. That is a colon option. First of all, we have seen that this is your semicolon, right? This is your semicolon. Now that means semicolon is your to make a column matrix. Now this is your colon, right? Only 2 dots. Colon is basically representing the all elements, right? It may be the all elements in the row. It may be the all elements in the column, right? If I say 2, colon, that means second row and all the columns, right? Since colon is in the column matrix, so we can just write in the column value. You can say not column matrix, column value. So all the columns value it will give, that is 682. If I say that colon, 2, that means all the row and the second column. That means it will give 5, 8, and 7. Right? This is the specific, that how what do you mean by the column? Similarly, you can give column this colon in various types or various options. For example, here I have written A1, 2, 2. That means 2 is fixed. That is a column. That is second column you have to give. Next, it is giving in the row value. It is giving 1, 2. That means first and second row. So we have to give 5 and we will get 5 and 8. So it is giving 5 and 8, right? So this is actually the colon means. Now you can just say the concatenation of matrices, right? Simple if I say that we have done like this, right? A and A. This is also concatenation, right? I have given the same matrix. Maybe you can give the X and Y matrix, but concatenation will be possible in the row wise and in the column wise, depending on the number of columns and the number of rows. For example, if you are concatenating, for example, X and Y should be in the same number of rows or the same number of columns. For example, X is equal to 1 and 2, Y is equal to, you are giving 4, 5 and 3, right? If I give this type of concatenation, then it will be okay. Then it will do, it will be correct. It will give the result 1, 2, 4, 5, 3. But if you are concatenating vertically, then automatically the number of columns should be same. If you give that Y is equal to 4, 5, 3, then this result, that is X semicolon y, that will give the wrong result, because number of columns in X is not same as your number of columns as Y. That's why, for example, in V is equal to X, Y and semicolon Z, what you will get the result? And can anybody say? Anyone? Just you unmute and say the result. Yes, it is invalid. Yes. Why it is invalid?
Invalid, ma'am. Invalid.
Yes.
Because number of columns in Z are different.
Yes. So when you will say the X and Y, then you will get 1, 2, 4 and 5. And after that, if you are giving that semicolon and Z, it will come in the below, then it will give the invalid result. Okay, very good. Now we are getting the how to calculate the sum, how to calculate the subtraction, multiplication and division. It is exactly same what we do in case of matrix. So I will not, there are some functions are also available. For example, for the sum we can give SUM. For diagonal matrix, if you want to carry out, then we can give the DIAG, diagonal matrix. So we will get 3, 8 and 3. Similarly, if you want to create the ones matrix, so you can give ONES. If you just give the zeros, then you will get only the zero value in the whatever number of rows and the matrices range you will give. So such type of matrix, some values are there. For example, here I have given that this we have told. Yes. So one is this value. This is actually very much needed when you use the colon operation. For example, you are writing one program, right? You must be knowing that in program writing, we use sometimes the for loop, right? To reiterate the sentences or the statements. So we use for I is equal to 1 to 10. So this 1 to 10, basically 2 word 1, TO2, then 10 value. So without this 2 value, TO2 is not understood by the MATLAB or in Scilab. So what we do, we give the colon operation. Colon operation means this is actually 1 to 10. If I say Z is equal to 1 to 10, we will get the values 1 to 10. So up to this, let me just show you that Scilab window so that you can just get the essence of it. So when we will get the Scilab window, so this is the Scilab window. Okay, let me just increase the font size. Here I had the one.
Preference, ma'am. Go to preference.
Preferences. We will go to the preferences. Then we can go to the fonts and then we can increase it. Console or command, then we can do this. Right. So, for example, as I have told that one matrix, and matrix, if you are using the small a, then you have to use small a everywhere. It is a case sensitive, right? If I write some matrix, for example, say 2, 3, 4, then 4, 5, 6, then 6, 7, 8, right? This is one matrix. When we say enter, then you will get this type of matrix. For example, if you are writing the column matrix, you can just write 2, then any other matrix. Let me take say 2 semicolon 3 semicolon 4. If I write, and you will get the column matrix as I have told. So for example, we are telling that C is equal to 1 to 10. Then if I write C is equal to 1 to 10, then we will get the values of 1 to 10, right? So such type of, for example, I have given you that diagonal of matrix, right? I will say that diagonal of that matrix is your A, for example. So this is my diagonal matrix. You just see that in A, we have diagonally 2, 5, and 8. So it is showing is your 2, 5, and 8, right? So you have to just differentiate in the two symbol, right? One symbol is the square matrix. Another symbol is your first bracket. So when we will define the values in the matrix, that times we will have to give the squared matrix, the squared, that is your this value, this symbol, right? Square bracket. And when you want to give the you have to call a function, right? And within that function you have to give the values or the matrix. That time you have to give the first bracket. Since diagonal DIAG is a function, so after that we cannot write that diagonal and second bracket A, right? It is a wrong interpretation. Since diagonal is a function, so we have to give the first bracket, and then after that you can write whatever you want to write. Similarly, for example, I have told that one matrix, right? If I say 3, 3, then it will give that 3 rows and 3 columns, and all the values will be 1, right? Similarly, if you get the zeros matrix and you can just write 3, 3, then automatically you will get all zeros. Now you can just say that when it will be necessary to get these ones, or when we will apply this ones and zeros, that function. It is very much important functions when we, manipulate or we analyze the signals. It may be in the image, maybe in the speech signal, maybe in the audio signal, maybe in the video signal. So sometimes what happens that we have got one signal and one image, for example, and one image, for example, 215 or 216 by 216 or 500, 32 by 32, for example. And another image you have got 64 by 64. Now you have to add these two images. You cannot add because the resolutions of the images are different. The pixel size are different, right? In one, you will get 32 by 32. In another image, you are getting 64 by 64. Then when you will just join it, then what you can do? What you can do, because you know that 0 in case of image value, it represents dark or the black, and 1 represents white, right? So when we add this in 32 by 32, we can add the other values. That means other 32 by 32 values. Either you can add with this ones matrix, or you can add this zeros matrix. If you add the ones matrix, that means 1, 1, 1, 1, all the values will be 1. That means you are adding the black values into the original values. If you are adding the, white. And if you are using the 0, 0, 0, then automatically you are using the black pixels into the original pixels. So such type of, when you are merging it, after you converting into the 64 by 64, then you can add with the other image, which is 64 by 64. So that time it is applicable, right? So this is actually, if you are, for example, A you have, similarly you have the other matrix, say B, right? Some other matrix B. Right? Now you can do A plus B and A minus B. then A divisions B, whatever you want to give. Since I have given this capital A, so we have to give the capital A and capital B only, right? So this is your case sensitive. Now let me go to again to the commands. Am I clear up to this? Should I go forward?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. How many of
Yes,
you?
ma'am.
How many of you have done this MATLAB or Scilab? Can you just reflect in the chat? Oh, good. Many people have done this MATLAB. So, okay. Okay, no problem. Showing error 5.5.2. Why it is coming error? Why dots are coming after digits? Which dots? This is 8 point. Oh, this one. This 2.3 dot. That is their definition like this. This is just a differentiate, nothing else. This in Scilab or MATLAB also you can get. On Scilab they have just given the definition that 2, 3, 4. That is the differentiate between the 1 or 2 numbers, nothing else. 5.5.2 there should not be any error because I have also loaded 5.5.2 only as you are seeing, right? Maybe your system is 32-bit and you are downloading the 64-bit. That can be one reason. Okay, Pooja Saini is telling 5.5.2 downloaded and it is working well. Very nice. Okay, let me go further. Now I'll go to again to the PPT. Okay. So this is all things we have done. This is operations you can do. Okay, dollar is giving the, you know, that number, the range of the number. For example, if you are giving the 3x3 matrix, then it will give dollar is equal to 9, right? Largest value of the index, right? This plus minus power also we have given. That's addition, subtraction I have given. That into also, you know, A star B, that means you are doing the matrix multiplication. But when we'll do the matrix multiplication, as you know, in mathematics also we have done that number of rows should be equal to the number of columns of the second matrix, so that you have to clarify it. You have to maintain that rule, right? Transpose is your same thing, that rows will be changed to columns and columns will be changed to rows. Okay, now okay, once matrix I have told you. Another matrix is your I matrix. This is important. I matrix is basically to calculate the, or to define the unity matrix, right? So if you want to have the I4, 4, that means only the diagonal values will be 1, right? This is one very much important matrix, that is your unity matrix. I, E, Y, E, right? I's nahi hote. Ones mein O and ES, zeros mein you are seeing that Z, R, O, S, but in I only E, Y, E, right? Okay, ones, and one is your random function. Random function, you know that anytime, whenever you will use, you can get the various different types of values. That is your random function, right? Now, you just check it that we are giving, what we are giving, ones 3, 3. You can just write on your laptop. Maximum of them must be using laptop. So you can just write in this ones 3, 3, gap, zeros 3,2, semicolon, zeros 2,3, then gap 4 into I 2,2. You just see that you must be getting such type of result. You just see once 3,3. So 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Gap means there is a horizontal concatenation, right? Zeros 3,2. That means 3 rows and 2 columns. So we have just added. After that, semicolon. That means it will come to the column. Niche aa jayega wo, right? Vertically concatenation. Zeros 2,3. That means 2 rows and 3 columns, right? It is giving zeros. After that, it is giving I 2,2. That means 1, 1 and 0, 0. And it is multiplied by 4. So it is 4004, right? So this complicated output also can be done with the help of these small functions in Scilab or MATLAB. Then another is your null matrix. If you want to define one blank matrix, then you have to use A is equal to blank matrix, that is square bracket but no values. That is your null matrix or the square bracket. In case of array or something other uses in the application, sometimes you have to define the null matrix or the blank matrix, that is known as your that we can create with the square bracket. Okay, now how to delete? Deleting the rows and columns. That time you can use the null matrix. Now you see that I have told you that when you want to add the 32 by 32 image with the 64 by 64 image, right? Then you cannot add. That I have told. Either you have to append zeros or ones in 32 by 32, or what you can do, or from 64 by 64 image, you can delete that 32 by 32 values, number of rows and number of columns, so that you can get the actual number of rows and number of columns. That means 32 by 32 you can get. So that you either you can append or you can delete. You can append in zeros and 1 in 32 by 32, or you can delete from 64 by 64, 32 rows and 32 columns. So to delete it, what you have to do? To delete it, you have to do like this. For example, that is given n is equal to I 4,4. That means only 4 ones, right? And from n, what we are doing, that 1, 3, 1, 3, that is a matrix, right? 1, 3 means that first row and third row, first row and third row, comma, colon, that means all the column values, is equal to blank. That means first row and third row, all the column values will be blank. So what you will get n you will get 0, 1, 0, 0 and 0, 0, 0, 1, right? First and third row हमने उसको blank कर दिया, delete कर दिया. Similarly, as you will get any requirement, similar values, similar number of rows and the number of columns, you can delete, you can just blank it, and correspondingly you will get the truncated matrix. You will get the truncated matrix, right? So that case you can use this blank matrix or the null matrix. Inverse of a matrix, the mathematical portion already we know, we found out the adjoint and determinant. Finally we give this we finally carry out the inverse of a matrix or something, or transpose we do. So here we are getting the direct function, that is your INV. So if you are doing the INV of A, then automatically we will be getting the inverse matrix. So you can just say that if we are getting where you have to use this. For example, you are getting one equation AX equal to B, right? Here only I have given AX equal to B, right? So what will be X? X will be B by A, or B into A inverse, or A inverse into B, right? So what we are getting, we are giving that B by A, and B by A, for example, it will be writing as your A, the opposite inverse sign, then B, right? So this means inverse of A into B, and you will get the same value, right? That means X equal to A inverse B. If it is AX equal to B, then X will be equal to A inverse into B. So A inverse into B, you can write INV of A into B, right? This is will be matrix multiplication, mind it, because A and B are both the matrix. So number of rows and number of columns you have to be very careful that in taking the matrix. Or otherwise you can write A, the opposite division, then you can just write B, then you will get the same value, right? Okay, another very important thing, very important thing is your dot, right? Every time we get the dot value when we give the dot value. For example, we are calculating that say one signal is your sin x and another signal is your say cos y, right? Now third signal we have to carry out sin x into cos y, right? So x values, it will be ranging from some values to some value, and for example x values ranging from 0 to 2 pi, and y also is ranging from 0 to 2 pi, right? There will be many values like 0 to 2 pi values, right? You can just see that the difference between the one value of the theta with the other value. For example, there is a step size maybe just 5 degree or 10 degree. That means first 0 degree it will be done, then sine of 5 degree, then sine of 10 degree, then sine of 15 degree. Like this, it can go up to the pi or 2 pi, 360 degree. Similarly, you can calculate cos y also. After the third signal, when you will calculate, you cannot just write that if A is equal to sin x you have calculated and B is equal to cos y you have calculated. If you write A dot B or A star B, right, sin x into sin y, it will be a wrong calculation. जब हम लोग बोलते हैं that sin x into sin y, that means we carry out the first value of the sin x matrix and the first value of the cos y matrix, right? So when we want to calculate element by element multiplication, that time you have to use the dot sign before the star. Similarly, dot sign before the division, dot sign before the power, right? So every time it is very much used in case of the signal processing or the image processing when you want to do the calculation of the image pixels, right? Image pixels one by one, right? For example, you have an image 32 by 32, for example, one image of a say chair, right? And another image you are getting 32 by 32 only, you are getting another image of say of a table, right? Now you want to multiply those images. Now what we have to do, you have to do A dot star then B, right? Then only you will get the multiplication of the first value of the chair or the table or the matrix and with the first value of the same location value of the other image. Similarly, in case of the signal also, for example, A sin x one signal hai and B sin y another signal hai. So, and if you want to multiply or something you want to do, then you have to do this dot multiplication, right? For example, A is equal to this, B is equal to this. Say x equal to okay, finally we have got x equal to 1 2 3, y is equal to 3 4 minus 1, right? So if I want to do x dot y or x star y, not dot y, x star y, we will get it is an invalid value because number of rows is not equal to the number of columns. But we want the multiplication of this value and this value, right? 2 into 4 and 3 into -1, then we have to do x dot star y. Then automatically you will get the corresponding value. Similarly, x dot divided by y. Similarly, x dot power 2. That means 1 to the power 1 square, 2 square, and 3 square. So you are getting 1, 4, and 9. Otherwise, if you write x power 2, then automatically it will give the other value. Okay, this is nothing so much important. Okay, one submatrix also you can find out. For example, if you have a large matrix, then you can find out the submatrix of this with this B, 3, 5, 6. That means third value, fifth value, and the sixth value. Okay, this is your script file. So script file, in the sense, I will just go to Scilab window, then I will just tell you that what is a script file. So this is your command window of the Scilab, right, where we do the calculations. And if we want to write any editor or any script file, we will go to the Sci notes. That left hand side, it is your SCI notes. So when you click on the left hand side, that is your Sci notes, you will get the editor. Here you can write anything, right? And after that, whatever program you want to write, you can just write. And after that, you can just give execute, then file with echo. That means you are executing the program, right? For example, I am just writing just one thing, a is equal to 1 to 10. For example, this I have written a is equal to 1 to 10. And I want to execute, right? Now, when I will execute, then I can just see in your.
एक बार फिर से बता दो कैसे जाना है यहाँ पे?
Yes, ये जो है ना एकदम अपने लेफ्ट हैंड साइड में आप देखो साई नोट्स, लॉन्च साई नोट्स है मेनू में.
ओके मैम.
मेनू में एकदम लेफ्ट हैंड साइड, you have got it?
Yes मैम.
Okay, when you click on this, you will get this editor window. So here you can write anything, or here also we can just change its font size. Right? So for example, a is equal to 1 to 10 or something, we are giving b is equal to say 7 to say 7 to 17. Seven to 16, right? So it will be 10 values. Okay, now if I say that file with echo, and we are giving echo means the output will be given to you, right? So a is equal to 1 to 7 and b is equal to 7 to 16. So it is giving the value, right? So such like this, you can write any program, and then finally you can just save it, right? You can just save and execute. Then you can save the file also, and you can execute the file. When you save the file, it will save as a SCE. SCE, execute, the extension will be SCE. For example, in MATLAB we can, I suppose that .mat होती है कि क्या होते हैं MATLAB में? MAT most probably.
.mat में.
.mat, right? So here it is SCE, Scilab SCE file, script file. Here we extension, it will be given, right? So this is your script file. Now there is no such time that we have to write all the programs and we have to execute. I have just told the environment that any program, if you want to write, you can just write it there, and finally you can execute, you can save, and you can execute the file. Now directly let me go for the plotting, right? Some commands we will see that how to plot. Okay. So, say simple plotting we are doing, that is your XY plot, right? That is your x equal to 1 to 10, y is equal to, we are writing one equation, that is your x square minus 10x plus 15. So, we will just write plot x comma y, right? If we just write that plot x comma y, automatically we can get such type of program, right? Let us just see that I will just run this program in Scilab notes, right? I will just go to notes and I will test it. So this is the program. We have written x equal to 1 to 10, and this 1 means that is your step size is 1. That means if you can write also, you may not write also. By default also, its step size is 1 only. So 1 to 10, y is equal to x square minus 10x plus 15. One straight line equation I have given. One parabolic, not straight line. X square hai, so it is not a straight line. It is a parabolic. And plot x and y. Now, if you just save it, or if you don't want to save it, then also you can just say file with echo. Then you can just see that such type of line you will get. Now, there are in plotting, there are many options, right? We can write the title, we can write the legend, we can change the color, we can put the marker in the points, that which are the points. So everything you can do in case of this plotting command. This is the simple plot command, right? Now we will see that what are the various options in the plotting, right? That we will see. Okay, so first option is your that how to write title, how to write X label, and how to write Y label, right? So we are writing that X equal to this, Y is equal to this, plot this. After plot command, we are writing title, X and Y graph. X and Y graph means we are writing just like this, that we are writing that in title, right? This is your X and Y graph. And you can change the font also. When you are writing that title or X label or Y label, whatever text you are writing, you can change the font size, you can change the font type, you can change the color, everything you can change. Now you see, here we have written X and Y graph, right? It is coming X and Y graph, simple, black color. After that, we are writing x86, but we are increasing the font size to 4 and we are increasing color to red, right? So we are getting like this. If you are changing the color is equal to blue, color is equal to cyan, color is equal to yellow, accordingly you can get the color. So this is 3 commands only for the beautifying the plot command, right? The title and X label, then Y label. Now you see, without the title, X label and Y label, we can just write in one command, that is your X title. X title. X title, if you use, the first parameter will give the title, second parameter will give the X-axis label, third parameter will give the Y-axis label, right? Automatically, you can just see that within the one command only, you can write the 3 things. And each and every command, after each and every command, for example, you have written that font size and this, after each and every parameter, you can change the font size and all. In Scilab, what you can do, because all the commands, it is not easy to understand, easy to remember also, right? So what we can do, we can take the help, right? For example, we are writing help plot, right? So it will give the plot command, what are the plot command options, and these are the parameters and what are the attributes, everything it will be given to you, even with the help of one example also. So that also one by one you can just see and you can just explore yourself. That is your help command. It is very much important, right? Because every time whenever we are doing any command or anything, it is not easier for everyone to remember all these things. So you can just take the help. Next is a legend. For legend, we can just write legend, LEGEND. Automatically, it will take that whatever you are giving function evaluation, this blue line it will be given, and then it will be written function evaluation. If you have the two values, two graphs, right? If you are writing function evaluation, comma, another, you say, for example, state or the say index, something, whatever value graph you are calculating, then it will take the first plot, it will take the first parameter, and the second plot command, it will take the second parameter. Like this, it will arrange itself. You don't have to write that this is for the first plot and this is for the second plot, right? Automatically, it will understand. Okay, multiple graphs in one single graph, single plot. So we can just write plot xy, plot x comma y1. So it will be multiple graph you can give in one plot. Okay, next important, this is your this color and marker style and the line style you can give. Here I am just showing you. For example, x equal to 0 to 10, y is equal to 1 graph, x square minus 10x plus 15. So we are plotting the graph, right? X comma y, but we are giving r dash dash. That means what we are giving, that is your red color. So this is actually, you are not, it is not visible to you, but this is your red color, dot, 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 right? R, then dash, dash. That means the style will be dash, dash, not solid. So it is showing that this is your dash, dash with this style, right? Then it is giving that plot xy r dash dash xy BO. That means blue color marker, right? So this is your blue marker, right? We are giving the blue marker. So this is actually with the help of this three options, line, color, and line style. You can change your plot and the style of the plot. Okay, now another one, I will just show the subplot. Let me just see here we have got it or not. Okay. Now, subplot command is very much important. I will give you this PPTs as a PDF format. I will give to Balvinder. He will send you, right? Because in one class it will not be possible. So I am skipping some repeated things. So when I will give it to you, then you can just take it and you can practice it. No problem. So let me tell about the subplot. Subplot is very important thing. That is to divide your plotting area into 2 or 4 or 6, right? That is your subplot. For example, y is equal to sin x and y2 is equal to y1 is equal to sin x, y2 is equal to cos x. Now what we are doing, that subplot 2 comma 1 comma 1. So first is your number of rows. Second is your number of columns. Third one is your in which number you want to plot. So I have given 2 rows. So that's a 1 row and 2 row. 1, that means 1 column only. So this is your within the 1 column. First one means, that means your first one. What do you want? We want plot x, y1. This is your plot x, y1. In which style? B dash dash. That means it should be in blue color and dash dash style, right? Similarly, we are giving subplot, then 2 comma 1. This will be constant. This will be constant. In which subplot you are using, this will be constant, right? That means second, the 2 rows and the 1 column, but you have to plot into the second one. So you have to go to the second one, then you can plot x comma y2 k dash. K dash means, only the dash means it is a solid, and k means you can just see that which color. I don't remember the k means which color. Okay, let me just see. K means black, right? So by default, in case of Scilab, it gives the blue color. But if you want to change to the black color, then you can use this. You can just use this K, right? Within single quote, you can just write, right? I can just show you also, because if you just feel that how it will come, so I can just copy it and I can go to here inside notes, and I will just save it. So it is showing this, right? This is what you know, that is your previous graph, right? So to clear the previous graph also, it is, we can just do I think CLC, it will do all the clear. Yes, with CLC, it can clear the all the things and then you can draw the plot. Right? Am I clear? Up to this, is there any doubt?
No, ma'am.
It's okay for everyone. You can just share in the chat so that I also can get some motivation. PPT I will share, don't worry.
Madam, it's clear, madam, but starting I missed some 5 minutes session. How to go to this Scilab window? Starting,
You have to just download Scilab, ma'am, from Google window. Google, you have to just write download Scilab. But in Scilab, you will get many versions. 6.0.2 version is also there. 5.5.2 version is also there. But due to some problems in the toolboxes in 6.0.2, so we suggest that 5.5.2 version you have to download, so that you will not get any problem in toolboxes, just like this. But you will be using for 1 or 2 sessions. This session, if you are using 6.0.2 is also okay, no problem.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, thank you.
Right? Nothing like that. Okay. So let me go again to the PPT. Right, this is your subplot I have given. I will just take 5 minutes for subplotting. After that, directly we will go to the signal processing. These are some specific, how to draw the histogram. For this, we can just write HISTPLOT, hist plot, then bar, how to draw the bar chart, and also we can draw the pie chart. Right? In pie chart, you can just see that 23, 15, 16, 17, these are the values. Then automatically in pi, it will be converted into the percentage, and finally it will be drawn, right? And this means that which portion is to be extracted. For example, we have given 0, 1, 0, 0. That means 23, 15, 16, 17, right? So this is your actually 15%. This is 23, this is 15. So I have given 0, 1. That means the second portion is to be extracted. So that is your 0, 1, 0, 0, right? If you want to show some, somewhere in the PPTs or something, you want to show that this portion is to be extracted, then you can just draw this. Then after that, you can copy this picture, and then finally you can just put it into your PPT. Okay, this is your 3-dimensional plot. We use the plot 3D command, right? Whatever you want to plot, you can just a plot 3D command. So, for example, 3-dimensional we are using, though we have the 2 values, that is your X and Z, because x is your 0 to 2 pi. One thing I just want to say, that in Scilab, basically it is not valid for MATLAB. If you want to write pi value, no, you can just write pi, right, in case of MATLAB. But here we have to just write this percentage pi. That means if you want to use any constant keyword, right, constant keyword value, then you have to use this percent sign, percent pi, right, whenever you want to use this. So here we have used 0 to 2 pi, and the step size is your pi by pi by 16, and z is equal to sin x into 1 sec, right? So when you want to multiply and when you want to do the plot 3D command, then we have given that x-axis also this value, y-axis also this value, and the function is your z. Then you will get this 3D plot, right? And next, let me just go for the last, that is your signal processing using Scilab. Some commands we will do it, because maximum of you are from electronics background, maybe because I am thinking that you are attending the in electronics department, so most probably you will be all from electronics background. So you must be knowing about the signals, right? That signal means 1D signal means that is your one single variable. It will be a function of single variable. 2D signal means that will be a function of or two-dimensional value, for example, one image or photograph. And another is your the multi-dimensional signal, that is your more than the two variables, for example, video. That is with the help of the two-dimensional graph as well as the time, right? Signal can be generated by a single source or the multiple sources. If you are generating by a single source, it will be the scalar. Multiple source, if you are giving, that is your vector, right? Now you can just try this, right? All of you can try this x1 equal to, I have told you, what do you mean by this? Random function, plot, random function, plot, random function, plot, and random function, plot. Can you just quickly do it? And any one of you, whoever will be done, you can just share your screen and can show me quickly. Some of you are doing, I suppose that you have told that downloaded and it is working. That means laptop is with you. Can you just do it and show me? If anyone can complete, you can just unmute and tell me. Then I will just stop my presentation, then you can present.
Madam, this
You have done?
function will generate a random matrix.
Yes. Any values,
Okay.
any values. I have given the subplot so that you can just see the differences also.
Dastagiraiya sir, do you wish to share your screen?
You have done it?
Palla Dastagiraiya sir, hello.
Hello.
Ma'am, I think he shared by mistake, ma'am.
No, till I stop sharing, then nobody can share it.
Ma'am,
Anyone?
yes, ma'am. Kindly stop sharing, ma'am, once so that they can share if they want to. Yes, any of the participants wishes to share their screen, their output, which ma'am just said to do.
What is RAND? RAND is basically the random function to create a random values, right? For example, you are giving RAND 1,15. So first time you are getting, for example, 0.0053, 1.1019. For example, 1.2153. And second time when you will run, you may get the other values. So that is your random function. Repeat subplot. Subplot is basically the dividing your screen into the different portions, right? So I will just explain again with this, right? I suppose I have stopped the sharing. Then let me share again.
But how many values will be generated in random keyword, no? Say for instance 1 to 15. How many random values will be generated?
15
numbers.
random values, one row and 15 values.
Okay, ma'am.
1,10 means 10 random values. 1,20 means 20 random values. 1,15 means 15 random values. Right?
It doesn't mean the lower limit is 1 and the upper limit is 15.
No. 1 and 10 means the number of row is 1 and number of columns are 10. That means you will get only the row matrix. Okay, let me just show you. For example, we are writing rand value of 1,10, right? So we are getting the 10 values, 1 to 5. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Values may be anything, right? So, for example, this time you are getting this value, and second time you may get some other value, 1,10. When we will give the, we may get the some other value, right? That is actually rand function. Am I clear?
Always it is decimal only, ma'am.
Yes. It will be, yes. It is obvious. Random function, every time it will be 0 to 1. Okay, it lies between 0 to 1. In normally also, wherever programming you use this random function, no, the values are from 0 to 1. Default values.
Understood, ma'am.
Right? Okay. Okay, just somebody has told me that you clarify this subplot. For example, sir, you just see subplot 2,2. That means the area of your drawing or the area of the figure, you have divided into 2 rows and 2 columns. That means you will be getting the 4 sections. 2 rows and the 2 columns. If you just cut it, then you will get in 4 sections. So in the first section, we are giving plot x1. In the second section, you will be getting plotting of x2. In the third section, you will be getting the plotting x3. In the fourth section, you will be getting the plotting of x4. That is there. Right? Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So let me go to to draw the sine wave and the cosine wave, though it is corresponding to the plot command only, but let us try it. So we are giving that t is equal to 0 to 3.14, that is your percent pi, and 0.01, right? Since we are calculating with t is your this time value, so that's why we have taken the radian value here. So we are doing that sine omega t or twice pi t, so we are taking 2 into 3.14 into t, then we are giving again subplot. These are the beautifying of your plotting, right? X title and this and that. And after that, you can give, this is another command, that is a plot 2D. Plot command and plot 2D command, both are same. Both are same. Both does the, plot command also gives the two-dimensional graph, and plot 2D also gives the two-dimensional graph. But plot 3D gives the three-dimensional graph, right? So this is your two-dimensional graph. Plot 2D also you can take, or plot also you can use. So we have used plot 2D into, plot 2D into t comma y. T comma y means t will be in the x-axis and y is your function, that is sine omega t. So you are getting the sine wave. Similarly, you can use the cosine wave also.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Can I know what is GCA written in the last slide, ma'am?
Yes, GCA actually time was not there, so that's why I have just skipped it. Okay, let me just tell you about GCA. GCA is known as your handler, HANDLER. We use the handler routine in case of Visual C++ or Visual Basic or some other softwares, .NET. There also we use this GCA command. GCA function is used to use some graphics command. For example, we have used A is equal to GCA. A dot X location is equal to middle, right? Dot background, parent dot background is equal to 4. These are some commands, right? When you use these commands, that time you have to use this handler routine, right? This is handles the current axis. That means your axis, it will handle. That means if you are using where will be your axis, it will be in the left hand side or it will be in the middle, right? So that's time, if you are changing your axis location, that time you have to use this handler routine. So how to use this handler routine? We declare this A is equal to GCA function. After that, this will be one object of this class, right? This is one class. And this object, when just like we use in C++, that you make an object, after that object dot any property of GCA you can use. So we are writing A dot X location. X location is one property of GCA. So we can just write A dot X location is equal to middle. That means your graph will be in the middle, not in the left hand side. Otherwise, generally what we do, we get the graph from the left hand side. It starts from left hand side. So that time it will be starting from the middle. And background is also 4. 4 means some cyan color or something is there. So your background of the matrix also, the graph also will be different. Let me just show you about by plotting this. I have to just copy and save it into the Scilab. So let me just show you how it happens. Right? So it is showing that plot ty. Okay. This is the previous diagram is there, yeah. Right? So the axis in the middle, right? Otherwise, see, we start from 0. Now we are starting, our axis is starting in the middle. That means it is between 0 and 1. It is starting from 0.5. So that is basically the GCA function. So without the GCA function, you cannot do such type of manipulations, right? And after that, we are giving the background is equal to 4. 4 is your cyan color. So background of the graphics or the area is your, cyan color. So such type of manipulations is possible with the help of this GCA handler routine, right? Am I right?
Right, ma'am. Right. Understood, ma'am.
Right. Actually, there is no so much time, so in detail I was not able to do it. That's why I have skipped it. But anyway, good you have asked. So let me go to some function of, okay, let me go to the convolution. So in DSK we have studied about the convolution. Convolution is basically how two values or the two signals, right? With the help of the two signals, you can carry out the other signal. That is your C is equal to X convolution of Y. Now, let me ask you, because if you are from the electronics background, so I can just ask you, what is the significance of convolution? Can anyone tell me? What is the significance of convolution? Why the developers or the researchers have developed this concept of convolution? What is the necessity of learning this convolution term? So what is the significance? Anyone?
Ma'am, can we say it is a multiplication of two sequences or the signals?
No.
No.
No, it is basically useful in digital signal processing, madam.
I know it is digital signal processing, but what for it is used? In which, what is the significance of this?
Ma'am, it relates input signal and output signal along with some response signal.
Somewhat.
To combine the two signals, ma'am.
Ma'am, actually analyzing time domain signal. Analyzing
Yes,
time domain signal to frequency domain signal.
No, that is actually transform.
For multiplying two signals, ma'am?
No.
Ma'am, input signal behavior to be checked with the ma'am, input signal behavior to be checked with the impulse response of the system to get the output.
Yes, that is
Is it
actually
linear filtering, ma'am? Linear filtering?
No, not filtering. I will just say that the other person has told that somewhat is there related to the impulse response. Now I will tell you that what is the significance. Maximum of us actually do not think that what is the significance of convolution. Just we tell that convolution term hai to hum seekh lete hain. But actually, for example, one black box is there, right? So to find out the output, what do you want? We want the input signal and we want the function of that system. Then only we can function of the system means the equation in mathematical expression or something. What does that system do? If we know that the function of the system, that it does the addition, it does the multiplication, or it does the something or calculation something, and if you give the input signal, then we can find out the output signal. Is not it? If we want to find out the output of any system, we require the input signal as well as the function of the system. Then only we can find out the output of any system. Now the scientists have told that sometimes it may happen that you don't know the function of the system. That means it is a black box, right? You don't know the function of the system, but instead you know the impulse response of the system. That means you know the HK. That is your, if you input the impulse signal, then what is the response that you know, but you don't know the actual function of the system. Then how to find out the Y? Then the scientists have told that if you know HK of any system and the input xk, then you can find out the output of any system yk is equal to convolution of xk convolute and hk, right? So that is actually the significance, that if you don't know the function of a system, or if it is a black box system, but you know the input and you know the impulse response of the system, then you can find out the output. That is actually basically the convolution of the significance of a convolution. Am I clear? Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you agree with that?
Yes, madam.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you agree? Okay, fine. So in case of Scilab, we use the CONV, right? C is equal to CONV A comma B. That means convolution A comma B. Now you can just give some options, you know, full means all the values it will show that combining this A and B. And if you give the same means that this is an optional value, right? Same means you can get the values same as your size A. That means other values it will cut, it will drop, right? Values it will be same as your, the number of values will be same as your number of values in A. Okay, so that's convolution of a matrix. When we say that A and B, A can be the any two-dimensional array, or some values, some scalar values also it can be done. One-dimensional array also it can be done. Two-dimensional array also it can be done. So simple convolution when we do, that is your one-dimensional. It has been written. This is your one-dimensional. And when we see this A and B are the two-dimensional, then we use the CONV2. That means it is a two-dimensional convolution. Okay, I have given here to just, you can just see it. This is your Sobel operator. I'll just show you. Sorry. Right, we have given the S is equal to 1, 2, right? 1, 2, 1, then 0, 0, 0, and minus 1, minus 2, minus 1. This is your S value. And we are giving that A value, that is your zeros value 10, 10, and 3 to 7 and 3 to 7 are 1. Some changes we have done in A. Then what we are doing, that is your convolution 2, right? Since it is a two-dimensional matrix, not one-dimensional, so we are using the conv 2. So S comma A, where when we are giving, that is full. That means all the values we are getting, right? So let me just just run it. Right? So this is your values. Okay, let me just delete one. This command, let me delete, so you will just get the idea for that. Right? So this is your convolution of S comma A, and the full means the values will be how many? Convolution? How many values will be there? Total values? Total values will be size of A plus size of B minus 1.
A plus B minus 1.
Yes. A size, A का जो values है plus B का जो values है, number of values, size. That means number of values in A, number of values in B, that plus this minus 1. So those many values will be there. Okay. So you have seen that this is conv and the convolution 2, right? Those values, you can plot it also. Okay, next, another one, let me just say, that is your DFT, right? Discrete Fourier transform. We don't use this DFT command. We use the FFT command, right? To calculate the DFT, we use the FFT command only. FFT is your first Fourier transform to find out the discrete Fourier transform. So if I say that FFT of A, then we can give this command x equal to FFT of A, then -1. -1 means FFT, 1 means IFFT, that is inverse FFT, right? So these two commands we give to calculate the DFTs. Okay, these are the two commands. There are some other commands also. That is your correlation. That उसके लिए हम लोग use करते हैं XCOR, right? That is your cross correlation between X and Y. And if you are giving the same, then only you have to give X. That is your X. If you are writing XCOR X, that means it is an autocorrelation, right? And if you are giving XCOR of X comma Y, that means that is your cross correlation. Between the two signals, what are the correlation that it will find? So that is your X correlation. Similarly, cross convolution and the auto convolution between the covariance, sorry, not convolution, covariance, auto covariance and the cross covariance between the two signals, different two signals. If we find, then it will be cross covariance, and if we do the within the same signal, if we want to find, then we can tell as a auto covariance. Okay, so this is all about of today's session. Just I have tried to cover the detail of the Scilab programming, introduction of Scilab programming, and the matrix manipulations, how we do, and of course about the plot, 2D plot and 3D plot, and some command I have given about this subplotting, and the introduction of the DSP, because in digital signal processing there are too many filtering and IIR filter, FIR filter, बहुत सारे commands हैं. Now I do not have so much time for that. So I have just given the introduction that how the signals are calculated, signals are generated. Then of course the convolution, how to calculate, DFT, how to calculate, and also, as well as the correlation and the covariance, how to calculate. Okay, thank you so much. If you have any doubt or anything, you can just ask me.
Yes. In the syntax, ma'am,
yes.
In the syntax, like for X correlation, we have open brackets, X followed by square brackets, then followed by a comma. Is it the syntax is so? Like
No. When you are giving the X correlation, XCOR within bracket only X, right? That means it will be only for the autocorrelation. If you are giving X comma Y, then it is the cross correlation.
In all the syntax, there is a variable, then a square bracket, then
square bracket means it is optional. That means you can give or you may not give. If you want the advanced some options you want to give, then you can. No, square bracket you don't have to give. For example, I will just show you, just 1 minute I will need. I don't know I have here or not.
We'll go to correlation. We'll go to correlation.
Just 1 minute. Yes, this square bracket is optional, right? You can give that XCOR, and then you can complete this also. Within first bracket you can complete. Whenever you will get the optional value you have to give, that time you will get this square bracket type, right? Default value, there is a default value is there. If you don't want the default value, then you can manipulate with the square bracket values.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, Balvinder, I'm done from my side.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much for the very informative session on this topic. So you have cleared many doubts of the participants side by side also. So thank you for your time and effort. And I'm sure that the participants who are already working or who are planning to work in this area, they will find your session useful. And they will
I will send you, Balvinder, I will send you these 3 PPTs, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Initial, and then plotting, and then about these signals, right? So you can just send them in whatever way you can just send. Right?
Yes, ma'am. We are having Google Classroom, so I will share.
I will just send you. I will just send you now only, so you can just upload into the Google Classroom.
Right, ma'am. So thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much for delivering this session and accepting the invitation.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Balvinder.
Feeling very
I'm happy. Okay, bye-bye. Bye.
Thank you.
Okay, all the best to all the participants.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
So dear participants, we'll end today's meeting at 10:00. So we'll meet again tomorrow for the live session at 9:30. I will be again posting activities related to today's session in the classroom by 3 p.m. So you are required to attempt those activities. So we'll meet again tomorrow at 9:30. So is there any query or clarification from any of the participants that we can discuss right now before disconnecting?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, can you kindly share the material of Devinder, sir?
I will ask him. So if he shares with me the PPTs, then I will definitely share with you. Till now, I have not received from him.
So it will be helpful for making the circuits and all this for practice purposes.
Yes, yes. I will just contact him. So if he shares with me, so then I will definitely share through Google Classroom.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Any other query or clarification from any of the?
Sir, for day 2 activity, I need one more day time, sir.
No problem, sir. You can submit at your convenience.
Okay.
No problem.
Because in the Tinkercad, I could not follow properly. I want one more day time.
No problem, sir. It is that link will remain open, so you can submit at your convenience.
Thank you, sir.
But try to complete all the pending assignments by Sunday evening. So this is for all the participants. Try to complete your activities by Sunday evening. So we are like finishing tomorrow on Friday. So there will be 2 more days, so that I can start issuing the certificate from Monday. Because after receiving all the activities, then I will be able to work on the certificate issuing.
Thank you, sir.
So, Nisha, I think we can disconnect as there are no further queries.
Yes, sir, in yesterday activity also, you have given option to upload only 1 file, sir. But we were supposed to upload 2 files, so we have taken a screenshot of 2 files and uploaded, sir.
Yes,
is it okay, sir?
Is it okay? Yes, ma'am, it is perfectly fine. So you can place your screenshots in Word file and then you can upload the Word file of PDF.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
So even today also you can do the same, because it will be similar activity today also. So, okay, dear participants, thank you very much for your cooperation during the sessions. So we'll meet again tomorrow. So thank you, Nisha, for your coordination, excellent coordination. So thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
So we can disconnect.